After going so deep inside the JRPG K-hole, I have finally pulled myself out and I've been playing some indie games on stream. Now today I want to highlight some of the ones that I like a lot and I think that you should give a try if you got some spare time hanging around. So let's start off with the very first game that I got into recently, and that is Hollow Knight. Oh wow, this is new. I'm sure you guys have heard of Hollow Knight. This game is massive. It's probably one of the greatest indie games to ever be created, and with Silksong coming right around the corner, I mean, I had to sink my little teeth into this one because it was amazing. I mean, I've been pushing it off for a very long time, but finally I just bared down and I really got into it, and Hollow Knight is one of the greatest games I've ever played. Everything from the story to the atmosphere to the gameplay is chef's kiss. I mean, Ratatouille would be proud if a game was getting cooked, because this one was cooked perfectly. This is a must play, and if you haven't played it yet, it's a great time to get into it because, like I said, the sequel is right around the corner. Silksong, when I hear the rumor mill buzzing, I'm telling you, you gotta get in. Now, play Hollow Knight. It's so freaking good. All right, moving on to the next game, I got Crow Country. This is a survival horror game that's kind of like Resident Evil mixed with Silent Hill, except you play a protagonist named Mara Forrest and you head into a haunted, I don't know, possessed is the word, amusement park. And in the amusement park, things get very active. We got monsters popping out, you're dodging, you're weaving. It definitely gives that Silent Hill vibe, and the Resident Evil combat is very much welcomed. I enjoyed this game more than I thought I would. Sometimes the puzzles were a little frustrating because either they were just not that fun or they were just like all the way over here, you're just like running errands. But when you finally figure out the mystery in this game, it's totally worth it. Now, one thing I will say, I did play this on the hardest difficulty, and in the beginning, it's extremely difficult. But as you start getting gear and getting used to the game and the controls, it's honestly not that bad, and I think this is the best setting because if it was any easier, I think there would be this missing thrill factor that the game had on the hardest difficulty, because you're kind of scared because you know your life is very fragile. And if you had more tankiness, it just wouldn't hit the same. But honestly, I would tell you guys, get Crow Country. I got it on a discount, definitely worth it. I think it's 20 bucks on Steam now, but I would say it's worth the 20. Yeah, it's a good game, and if you like horror and you like Resident Evil, Silent Hill fan, get it. Trust me, you'll enjoy your time. It's only like an 8-hour playthrough. Good game. All right, let's keep this thing scurrying along here, and I got another game for you. It's called Lost in Random. It's created by Zoink, but published by EA, so I don't know if this is technically an indie game, but the studio that made it is an indie because there's only like 25 employees. This game was good. I don't know if it's for everybody, but I did have an enjoyable time. It has this mechanic where it's like a deck builder and you have to farm the enemies to build up the energy to then play the cards that do the damage, which is a really good idea, very unique, and I thought it was extremely addicting. But the one problem I ran into with this was that once you figured out the OP meta, it was just like too easy. Like, I was crushing bosses, I was laying down the 2x multiplier damage and just annihilating anyone that stepped into it. It just got way too easy. I feel like if you are a casual gamer and you're not looking for something too difficult and you just want to have an enjoyable experience, because the art and the atmosphere, the music is very, very, very good. If you like that Tim Burton the Nightmare Before Christmas, yep, that is the style you're gonna get, and you're gonna enjoy the frick out of this game. But if you're looking for a gamer challenge, this is not for you. It is super easy, although you will respect the deck building roguelike aspect to it, but honestly, it's just a little too easy. So I wouldn't say like a must play, but if you get it on a deep discount, or if you have an Xbox Game Pass, it's free on there. So give it a try. Moving along here, we got another game, and this one was definitely sneaky for me. It's an older game. They haven't played it. It's a horror game. It's called Soma. Soma was created by Frictional Games, so if you ever heard of the Amnesia series, then you know who made Soma. And this game is a ride that you will never forget. You wake up one day underwater with your memories scattered, and you try to put the pieces together of why you ended up here and what is going on. I want to say more, but I don't want to spoil anything, because as the story starts to puzzle together, it is honestly one of the craziest things you will do as a gamer. It has one of those once-in-a-lifetime story beats that you will never forget. You play this game. Now, is the gameplay that great? Has it aged that well? No, I think it's still a little like rough around the edges at times, especially in 2025, 10 years later, but I think the story is still very firm and definitely worth a try. You can get it on a discount. You gotta give it a try, especially as a horror gamer. But if you're just somebody who wants to have their mind blown and see what the morality of the future could be like, because trust me, there are some robots in this thing, and these robots do have you questioning what the future could be like, you got to give this one a try. AI. That's all I have to say. AI is scary, man. And without further ado, the last game that I played that I will be telling you about is Mullet Madjack. This is a roller coaster ride of fun. It's an FPS roguelike where you go through blasting robots in the face. You know, it's just kind of like Soma, except now you got a gun and you have a lot of fun. It's really cool. It's like a speedrun-esque game, but it's not really based on like getting to the end quickly because you have to be strategical because every robot adds a second to your timer and you only have 10 seconds to live. Now, if you want to play an easier difficulty, the time isn't as brutal, but like the mid-range where like most of the gamers are probably going to play is 10 seconds of life, and each time you get a kill, depending on a headshot or what environmentals you use to get that elimination, you get more time. So honestly, this game is extremely fun. You know, the levels were very cool. The art style is definitely unique, and the story is actually better than I expected. I was not expecting the story to have the value that it did, especially for a game like this. I was thinking like, what is this? It has its own heart, its own rhythm, and it beats to its own drum. Mullet Madjack is a must play, especially if you're an FPS roguelike fan. You know, you get to build your character each run, and you get that little adrenaline rush every time you get a good stack of cards and you know your guy's juiced up. And then there's these cool boss fights after every 10 levels, so you get to experience what that feels like to use your abilities at the max to help complete it. And surprisingly, was one of my favorite games that I played so far. But I will say this, there is a speed run leaderboard, and somebody beat the game in like 24 minutes. That's insane. It took me about like 2 hours, I think. I mean, I know I'm not that good, but damn, like that's insane, especially thinking about like how many times I died. They just probably never. So Mullet Madjack, absolute cinema. Give yourself a chance. Give it a chance, and you might find yourself bow, 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 saving the princess at the top of the robot tower. So those are my favorite indie games, and I think you guys should definitely give them a try. If there's anything you want me to go in deeper detail about, like, hey, Squala, make a whole video about Soma and all the intricacies, or hey, Squala, make a Crow Country video. Let me know in the comments below, and I will dive deep. Any future games you want me to give a try and tell you guys about, or something you want me to play, let me know. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.